Howdy, howdy, Dripping Springs. It is Weekly Drips, Season 5, Episode 2. Hi, Amber.
Hi, how are you doing today?
I'm so good. I want to say, Happy New Year. When can we not say Happy New Year anymore? Can we still say it, or is it too late?
I feel like it's not too late. I feel like pretty much the entire month of January, it's still appropriate to say Happy New Year because there's people that you may not see till the end of the month, and it's still new. It's the new month of the year, so it's good. It's good.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. And I just like saying it. Like it's continued holiday greetings.
I love it. I love it. So for those joining our shenanigans for the first time, I'm Ashley Tullis. I'm a real estate expert here in Dripping Springs, and this is my co-host, Miss Amber Pierce, and she gets all the really grimy stuff super clean. And that is what we do professionally, but on a personal level, we are your Dripping Springs Hype Squad. And today's, I'm going to say it's an important, but not a topic that I'm super hyped about. So I think Texas is about to see all of its winter weather in 1 week. It's going to happen. Next week is supposed to be super freaking cold. So we thought we would jam on winter weather. And those of you who maybe moved here in the blazing hot sun when it's 110 degrees outside, you might be excited about lows in the 20 or teens, but I'm not really pumped about it. So I thought we'd jam on that today. Shelly says 14 degrees. I know. Ugh. It's almost 100-degree difference. It's ridiculous.
I mean, maybe it's just me, but that sounds awful. Yeah. I do not want to be that cold. I moved away from the Sierra Nevadas on purpose to escape this.
0 out of 10. Do not recommend.
No. It can stay over there. It's something that's fine to visit when you want to, but I don't want it in my yard.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair freaking enough. So take it away. Share your tips with us. I'm going to share my tips, and then we have some little extra perks, what to do during cold weather.
Yes. So like Ashley said, I am Amber Pierce. I am one of the owners of Coit Cleaning and Restoration. And one of the things that we do with our company is we assist with water damage. It's one of those things that we never wish it upon anyone. I would love for all of us to make it through this storm system and all the storm systems without having water damage. But unfortunately, it's something that happens. And when it happens, which I hope it doesn't, if and when it does happen, I've got some tips and tricks to try and avoid things from happening, as well as some tips and tricks on what to do in the event that something does happen. So first, I thought it would be good for us to talk about some prevention. Those of you that were here back in February for Snowmageddon, and saw all of the posts about all of the pipes freezing. Unfortunately, our homes here in Texas are not built to be able to withstand some of this freezing weather. With that, there are some things that we need to do to be proactive to make sure that we don't have the breaks and plumbing issues and things like that. So first of all, really important to start outside because that is going to have the least protection from the weather. Make sure you disconnect any of your hoses and cover or insulate the outside hose bibs. A lot of times when we're going into a freeze like this, you can get those little covers even just from HEB. They're everywhere. Highly recommend to put those on all of your hose bibs.
Can I interrupt?
Yes, absolutely.
Because we're also here for comic relief. When I was a kid, the running joke, it was one of our jobs to put the hose bibs on. And so my brother would take them and put them in his shirt, and he would pretend he was Dolly Parton for about 5 seconds.
I love that.
So I just thought they're a little comedic relief,
Can be used
live out your Dolly Parton dreams while protecting your pipes. Okay, Ashley.
Awesome. If you can't get a hold of the hose bib covers, I mean, there are options. I've seen some really creative options all the way down to Whataburger cups. use what you got. We
Yeah.
can do something about it, but please do make sure that those are covered.
Dish towels and zip ties,
Second,
that works too.
yeah. You probably have something in your house that will work just fine if you don't want to do the hose bibs. The hose bib covers are kind of nice because they make it easier. Yes. Another thing is, because our houses are insulated for Texas heat, they're not as insulated for like Sierra Nevada cold. So with that, any plumbing that you have on an outside wall, it's really good to go ahead and open those cabinet doors underneath. So if you have sinks on an outside wall or something like that, open up those cabinet doors so that the heat that you're running can get down into those areas where it's going to get really, really cold. Also, if you can keep those faucets out on the outside walls, keep them at a light drip. It doesn't have to be a full pour, but if you can keep that water running, that's going to be really good in helping the flow and help prevent any freezing, which can cause problems with burst pipes. Also, I know there's a lot of people that will tell you to keep your thermostat at like 58 degrees. I'm going to tell you right now, you can do that if you want to. That is not my recommendation. My recommendation is 68 degrees. If we were living in an area where our homes were built and insulated for freezing weather, then you can probably get away with 58. But we're not here. So with that, I would much rather you bump up your temperature, your thermostat 10 degrees and prevent a frozen pipe than try and be less. Just do a little bit more. So those are some good ones. Another really, really important one, in the event that you do have a water damage, your first thought's going to be run and grab the towels and throw it on top of it. That's fine. A better thing to do is to use your towels and blankets like a dam so that that water doesn't continue going into your home. Your towels are going to soak up a lot of water really quickly. So using them in the most effective way possible is best. I highly recommend doing a dam. And I would familiarize yourself now with where your water shutoff is, because if you know where it is now and how to turn it off and on, in the event that something happens, you're going to be able to act quickly to be able to prevent additional damage. Also, since we are a restoration company, if you have a water intrusion, whether it's a burst pipe or water coming in from outside, please give us a call. We would be happy to just have questions. You're not sure if you need a restoration company or not, I'm here for you. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have, whether is this worth having somebody come out to inspect? Do I need to file an insurance claim? All of those questions, I'm happy to be here and be of service. The phone call is free. My advice is free. I genuinely care about you and your home and making sure that you and your home are protected and your family is safe. And that's my priority. I don't have to make money off of it. I just want to help you.
Well, thank you.
So that's really my big tips and tricks.
I love it. Martin added one of my favorite tips. Schedule your dishwasher to run during the early hours of the morning, like where it's going to get the coldest, so that water is just running through the pipes. If you're not going to be at home, I would go ahead and cut your water and drain out your pipes. If there's no water in there, then it can't freeze and it can't burst. With expansion and contraction, that's the big problem. So while everything is frozen, it won't be a problem. But as soon as things start to thaw out, that's where you see the biggest trouble. Shelly asked sprinkler systems off too. Yeah, I'd go ahead and do that. I would drain your lines out and just cut it off for a few days. Yeah. Your sprinkler heads don't hold water, so those won't crack. I think the only time I see those cracking is when you run a lawnmower over it. So
yeah, that could do it.
For those with pools, leave that pump running, and that quick moving water should be protected. Your equipment, you can always throw a tarp over it and put a heating lamp, or rather one of those little lights that you put in the NA chicken coop, the chicken coop. But yeah, cover those pipes up. You know, it's better to have all the prevention in place to make sure you don't have to make that call to Amber. But you guys, I have called Amber and she's taken my call every single time. And that was even before we were like good friends. She'll take your call, I promise.
I'll take all the calls. I'm here for y'all.
Another thought that I had and getting kind of prepared for winter weather is, do I really even want to come into the office when it's that cold? I don't know. And then I'm like, who am I? It's just cold. It's not at this time, it's not to be snowy or icy, but you know, better safe than sorry, right? So I thought, well, maybe, just maybe, I stockpile soup. And then I was like, if I can get out and about, where's your favorite soup in Dripping Springs? I know mine. I'm curious what yours is. So while you're thinking about it, because I'm putting you on the spot, I'm gonna share my favorite. So I have a handful of them. My first favorite is the piggy chowder at Pizza Cave. It's spicy and delicious, and oh gosh, I just really love the piggy chowder. If I'm at Flora's, their caldo is always my go-to, and then El Rey has their caldo as well. That's really, really good. And I wonder if it's like the broth that I like so much or all the toppings that they put in it. I'm not really sure.
Both is okay. Both is a very appropriate answer. Okay, so I've got a favorite specific soup is probably the pozole at Flores.
Ooh, I've never had it.
Of the green pozole.
Okay.
That's the chicken one. So good. And then always time and dough. I mean, they have different soup all the time, so I never know what they're going to have. But I've never had a soup I didn't love from there. So definitely an option.
I dig it. Yeah, that's a good point. It is always really good. But I'm like, well, what's my favorite there? I don't know that.
I'm trying to think of if I even had the same soup twice.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, solid choices for sure. We are taking suggestions, Dripping Springs, so we are all prepared, like better together. So bring your ideas. What soups do I need to be eating while it's cold? Because soup and chili. Martin tells us, don't shut off the water if you have a softener in the garage or shed. You need to drip faucets.
Mm-hmm.
I would have never thought about that.
And then Carolyn says Michael loves the piggy chowder too.
So good. But Sarah, the soup lady, makes great soups too. Super Sarah. Who's Super Sarah?
Why don't I know who Super Sarah is?
I don't know. Carolyn, can you tag Super Sarah? Do they allow tags in these comments? We need them.
I don't know. I want to know Super Sarah.
Me too. Me too. As most of you, she has a Facebook page. We will find it. We're going to find you, Super Sarah. That sounds awesome. There's also this whole like, I mean, I know it was big during COVID, but I feel like sourdough has reemerged again. Like it's a whole new sourdough wave. And
yes, I agree.
There's like Carb Queen sourdough. I just heard about her. I'm trying to find somebody that's had her bread. And I want to hear all about it. Like I love a fresh loaf of bread with my soups. And sourdough doesn't make me feel terrible. So,
you know, I'm a sucker for Abby Jane. So they have like the regular sourdough loaves, but then they also have the pan sourdough loaf. So it's still sourdough, but it's shaped more like a traditional loaf of bread. So that's what I use for my sandwiches.
Oh, nice.
And they have a little like thing.
What's that mean?
Technical term for it. It cuts it all. So everything's like uniformly cut and perfect, like if you were actually buying a normal loaf of bread at the grocery store. And then you don't have to worry about all the uneven cuts that like what I do when I try and cut it myself. I'm not great at it. I just let them do what they do and they cut it for me.
When I was in college, I worked at a primarily vegetarian food restaurant in San Marcos called Rivendell. It opened in the 80s. maybe even late 70s, and they closed probably about 10 years ago. I was no longer allowed to cut the pies, cakes, or bread.
Oh,
Because I can't seem to do it uniformly.
you're like, you get this big of a pie. You get this big of
I
a
tell it
pie.
my dirt, you know?
I guess I'm the best bread cutter at my house because when it does have to be done, it's me. But that does not mean I'm any good at it. It just means I suck less.
Oh, that is too funny. So, Mayor of Dripping Springs, Shelley Carricker, informed me that this is Sarah Albini, who I don't know in real life. I only know on social media. And I don't know if she's old drip or somewhat new. I don't know. But I know that name. It's kind of like one of those people that, like, if you know of Dripping Springs, somehow you know somebody that knows and adores this Sarah Albini. And I didn't know she was a soup maker. This is very exciting.
That sounds like a legit name. I feel like you see those signs like never trust a skinny cook. Like I feel like Albini sounds like a name that you can trust to eat that food.
Trust the.
So I'm in. I want to try out Sarah Albini's soup.
And it sounds like our
been
dear
here
friend.
A long time.
Yes, of course. So public shout out. I don't even know if she like watches our show, but girl, I really do want to meet you and get to know you. I've heard nothing but amazing things about you.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so awkward.
Yeah, it's okay. We're here together.
Oh,
Hashtag better together.
Yeah, better together. Man,
oh my goodness.
Before I dig my embarrassing hole any deeper, I think this is a great place to wrap it up. You guys stay warm with that cold weather on its way. Although if you walked outside, it's really gorgeous and
I think it's supposed to be 70 tomorrow. So
yeah,
confusing.
I know. So it'll be drastic. Good luck with the headaches you get as that front moves in fast and furious. That's always a ride. But bundle up. We'll see y'all next week on Wednesday, 4-ish o'clock on the weekly drip. And y'all have a wonderful week.
Thank you. Take care. Stay safe and warm.